Mm.
Like, I don't understand why you think it's a good idea to put them on higher alert than they currently are as a way of convincing them not to look more closely at all the people they're letting into their fortress.
I mean, it's war. They're going to be looking closely anyway, aren't they?
Yes, so why make them look closer?
Well, you're making them look at the left hand when you're using the right hand. That's what.
But they're going to double check both hands.
Mm.
The whole point of getting us into the refugee stream was to cause a massive distraction so that when the refugee stream and our people hit the edge of the metroplexic, we destroyed Fort St. Stannis with a big flash and a bang, so that everyone would crowd forward, pushing to go, oh my god, let us in, oh my god, let us in, they've just destroyed Fort St. Stannis almost instantly. It's like, yeah, it's to create a massive sort of pile-up of the whole thing.
I don't think that's going to be possible now, though, is it?
No,
there's a small refugee stream, so...
There's a small refugee stream, and we don't have our men in position.
Well, what is position, really?
So my current idea at the moment is to basically drop Marines probably in the sea surrounding the metroplexic and have them swim to shore and infiltrate that way.
Have interest. What Marines?
Probably the ones I've got with me.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you've got like 70 boots on the ground, plus your Stormbirds manned, plus the guards on the brig and the remedial squad. You're down to like... Sorry?
I thought it was 60 on ground.
You've got 60 on ground with Coatlmox. You've got another 10 on ground with Coayah.
Oh, and don't forget Maccy and his squad.
It's true, actually. So you, if anything, are probably technically slightly overdrawn at this point. I think you maybe got chapter serves.
Oh, right? I thought it was 60 total. Oh, when I said 60, I meant 60 total, not...
80 total on the ground. Plus, it's, I think, 3 Marines per Stormbird, and you've got 4 Stormbirds in the air, is it? So, 3 times 4, 12, that gives you 92, plus 2 guards on the brig, that's 95, plus 2, plus 2, plus 1, 5 in the remedial squad, 99. I've probably fucked the maths somewhere, but I think you have 1 spare Marine at the moment.
Isn't that Macuiltotec currently awaiting trial?
This is not counting the command squad. If we count the command squad... Oh, no, you're correct. Yeah, that is Macuiltotec. Yeah, I'm so sorry. So, yeah, you have 0 Marines spare.
So, when I said I don't want to put all the Marines on the ground, we then put all the Marines on the ground.
Let's be fair here. A number of the Marines committed themselves to the ground.
I thought it was just them, as in the command squad. Not they weren't taking 10 extra with them.
Yeah, the 10 extra that they took with them were Ollie's Havoc squad, who committed themselves. For the records...
But not 10 extra each, right?
What's his name? It's not Coayah, it's Maccy. Maccy is currently schlorped, and is likely to be schlorped for another 35 minutes. Which means that it's Thumbs' squad who voluntarily... Thumbs' Havoc squad who voluntarily committed themselves to going down to the planet.
Yeah, so that's 10 extra, so I'd expect 70 around down there, and there'll be 30 up in the ships.
I've just counted the maths for you, mate. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I'm saying that there's excess down there that I didn't order down there.
Yeah, massively.
There's an addition to Maccy's.
100%. There are,
So, why did that happen?
Well, you weren't really keeping count, and a load of people disobeyed the orders that were set out.
Just the command squad disobeyed orders, and I was keeping track. I said I don't want more than 60 down there.
No,
I wanted to make sure I had some on the ship.
Yeah, I think, but the only person you said that to was Coayah. And Coayah didn't take...
That was a genuine command.
Coayah didn't take more than 60 down there. In fact, Coayah took 10 down there.
I took the ones that were assigned to me down there.
I meant the entire assault.
Yeah, but you only said
and it wasn't just to Coayah, it was to you.
Sorry, it was 100% just to Coayah. You said you didn't want to take more than X number. And beyond that, you were on the Vox network as this shit was happening, Nicholas.
As the command squad did their random stuff, yes.
Nazeem was 100% aware. All last week, this shit was happening. 60 Marines became 70 Marines. 10 Marines headed down before that, not including the command squad.
You might note, Nicholas, that last week I was being incredibly sarcastic about the whole thing because I didn't know in character that it was happening, but I did know out of character that it was happening, and I was very annoyed about it.
This is why Benji was so salty, because the only person following orders, both his and yours, was Coayah, and everyone else was going, nah, it's fine though, fam, it'll be fine.
So, no, I'm still... So, I understand Command Squad didn't follow orders, so it means our actual Marines didn't follow orders either.
You didn't issue orders to the actual Marines. You issued orders to Coayah. Coayah followed the orders you gave.
If he followed the orders I gave, it means there should be at least 30 Marines.
So Coayah didn't take that many Marines down with him. Coayah took the 10 Marines he was allotted. Everyone else took additional Marines. And even to be fair to them, Marines volunteered to go with everyone else. But the person you gave orders to followed the orders you gave. It's everyone else who wasn't given orders and also didn't ask for them, who didn't. So, Maccy is currently schlorped. I think, therefore, that it makes sense to start off with either, probably, Kuzco or Nazeem. Who wants to go first of the two of you? Okay, in that case, no opinions voiced. I will say, as I feel like young Nicholas is maybe still processing the battle, we'll do Nazeem, shall we? Nazeem. Sorry, no, what the fuck am I talking about? We'll do Kuzco, shall we? Kuzco. Ow, I fucking skipped. This is what happens when I go for Tuesday beers too early on a Tuesday. Let's do some reminders from last session before we do Kuzco. Coatlmox's limbs have all been torn off and his body is shattered. Kuzco would like a semi-detached. Okay. Kuzco wants to run a rescue mission. The Mechanicum is currently refusing to help. Coayah is not only dead from stress due to a 1/sheer spite. Oh, sorry, Coayah is only not dead from stress due to a 1/sheer spite. Maccy doesn't want to leave anyone behind at the first Archaeotech defense laser. Coatlmox wishes to order Coatlmox's squad to continue. Okay. Nazeem has no kills. Coatlmox still has his servo arm. And on that, shall we switch over to Kuzco? Kuzco, what we doing? I think you just got a message through on your HUD, as well as like emergency vox saying, "Oh, Coatlmox is injured." You're muted, Carl.
I think he's making dinner.
Where is he not there?
I mean, he's probably on his tablet, but like,
I heard noises earlier. What he was saying.
Alright, and we got Cread.
Hello.
Alright, in that case, okay, Coatlmox, in a similar situation, namely the same situation, but decidedly more helpless. You're in excruciating pain, and you've been in such for some minutes at this point, when your vision swims in front of you, and though your brain is aching with just sensory overload, your vision, augmented as it is by your, if I recall correctly, best quality, I forget their name, laser eyes.
Baleful eyes.
Baleful eyes. You focus on something that one of your battle brothers has brought up to you. Your vision swims, but it slowly comes into focus. They speak to you over their loudhailer. Brother, I have procured you a wheelbarrow.
Wonderful news, brother. Say, are any of the train carriages still intact?
They sort of look into the distance at the sparks passing down the long, straight railroad. The train does not appear to have stopped yet.
I see. Well, pop some pain suppressors and see if they still work.
You may consider yourself able to move as well as you can, sans your primary 4 limbs.
Chuck a chainsaw in here with me, will you? And let's push onward.
With the aid of your brother's squad, you lever yourself into the wheelbarrow. Carl, did I hear you make a noise a second ago?
A noise, yes.
Cool. So, as I recall, a medical icon, as well as an emergency vox from the squad, has just alerted you to Coatlmox's situation. You can see on your HUD that he's pretty fucked. He's some ways below ground, somewhere, and his vital signs are annihilated. He should, by all rights, just simply be dead. More distressingly, in fact, you can see him moving at what appears to be slightly above walking pace. What do?
Oh, excuse me. Choked slightly. In character, that's more going to be like a sort of surprise reaction, like someone's moving my patient. God damn it! No, that's my job. I would like to round up my brother squad and make haste towards the last known location.
Yeah, you're going to need to get underground, but I'll take a navigate surface check. Do we have that in this system?
We got operate, but I don't know about snow navigate.
Presumably.
Yeah, we do have a navigate surface. You're even trained in it to a reasonable degree. Yeah, I will take navigate surface over perception at a +10, please, to find your way down into the metro system.
I'm just trying to find where it is to see what I'm actually trained in. Oh, yeah, there we go. Right.
What was the doff on that?
Oh, God!
What was the doff on that?
Like, shit, son. That would be 6 degrees. No, sorry, I'm trained, so that's 5 degrees.
You cannot find a train station to save your fucking life, or more accurately, to save Coatlmox's life. Everywhere you go, every map that you see, every civilian you interrogate, as you get there, you find that Thumbs and his heavy weapon squad, his Havoc squad, as he describes them, has basically utterly annihilated the entrance and a good deal of the surrounding area. There's just no way down into the metro. Coatlmox is basically isolated down there and moving at a worryingly increasing pace.
Like, I want to just drop to my knees and scream out into the air, just, damn you, Thumbs! But I'm gonna hold back for the sake of my squad's morale. Totally, that's why.
That's fair. Thumbs is also on the Vox with you. Okay. In that case, Coatlmox, you have been shifted to a wheelbarrow. What do?
Onwards.
Define...
Or be pushed onwards.
Define onwards for me here. Where do you want to end up?
North.
Several days' travel away, along the train lines, towards the Marotha metroplexic.
What sort of system are these trains on? Are they like on a powered rail network?
Yeah, we'll say a powered rail network. It's like a... I mean, considering the amount of damage you took, you're probably dealing with a maglev of some kind.
Is there any scrap or anything left behind from the train?
The one that hit you?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair bit. A good deal of it's like gore and blood, but...
Any loose wheels or bits of metal?
Nah, it's a maglev. Oh, well, sorry, not in the way of loose wheels, it doesn't have wheels, but probably bits of metal, yeah, not particularly important metal, but metal where you hit, like, the support poles and shit inside, and that kept going.
I haven't heard that train stop yet.
You sort of lost track of it in the far distance as it began to round the curve. What are you hoping for here? Why do you want scrap?
Try and build something that can fit on the rails and go zoom.
So you'd like to hijack a train, is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Alright. Now, as I recall, this was the role that you tried last session, which didn't go well for you.
Yes.
But I'll take another roll on it, and what are the chances of you getting it equally bad this time? It'll be fine.
So, before I do that, can I see any access to cogitators or control panels anywhere nearby?
Not generally in the train station, I would say. That feels like it wouldn't be exposed just out and about.
Alright. I shall roll dice.
Are there any bonuses for him having a squad there this time, rather than just him alone?
He had a squad the last time.
Oh, did he?
I mean, I should have soaked up most of the bad luck in the early rounds with those two rolls.
True, yeah. 93 and a 98. What are you going to do, get 100? I will take evaluate over perception, please, Creed. Not evaluate, that's unfair. Fuck it, evaluate, why not?
Perception. I'm not good at perception. Any modifiers, or was that 0?
We'll call it a +0, because you're kind of looking for like a working train at this point.
Oh, pretty failery it is.
Nah, you kind of...
Is this using his senses? Or is this just looking?
I would say it probably counts using your senses, but even so, it'll still be like a +10.
Yeah. But because he's using hearing or sight, he gets a +20 because his armor and his natural stuff, right?
His armor is not in a good state for this right now.
His armor is, I would point out, missing about 35% of its superstructure.
Yeah.
That's fine, he only needs a helmet.
That's not how that works.
If it's his senses, surely.
No.
The armor has lost about 35% of its superstructure. That's the power pack's probably not doing hugely well either. That 100%. Thing took catastrophic damage.
He's lucky he didn't go into a mini nuclear meltdown. Just because his helmet is where he sees the sensory output doesn't mean that it's where the sensory input comes from.
It doesn't mean that a huge amount of cabling and wiring hasn't been ripped out of it by, impact with terrain.
Yeah.
Either way, that'd make it 2 failures instead of...
Yeah, so you're kind of running around or being carted around down here on the Metro's underground network in your wheelbarrow, your service wheelbarrow. But neither you nor your squad are able to find a suitably intact train. It's almost like the second the bloodthirsty, murderous demigods arrived in the city, all of the trains started heading in the opposite direction. Apart from maybe 1 or 2 philanthropists trying to make a final run into the city to, hopefully help a few people out. And here's hoping they don't hit that many obstacles along the way.
They didn't hit that many. They just hit the wrong one.
Touché, sir. Too fucking shay. And on that subject, shall we switch over to Coayah?
I thought we were going to go to Nazeem. Currently digesting the battle plan.
Yeah, we can go to Nazeem. Nazeem, what we at?
I'm not sure.
What are you doing, Nazeem?
Meant to be in charge.
What's going on? How much time has passed? Are both the orbital lasers down?
No, not even slightly. You have one orbital laser that Thumbs' squad has disabled the initial crew to, but the facility isn't secure and basically can't be made secure unless you want them to stay here. So to summarise for you, though, I feel Benji's report did do this quite well. He did prepare another dossier, technically another 2, but one of them was really long term. You've won the Void War, there was no contest. They've won the Naval War, there was no contest. You're winning the Ground War, but they're still back-footed. And you're losing the air war. They're putting everything into the skies to stop you. And at this point, it's kind of working. You've potentially got a matter of hours, if that, before you stop being able to use your Stormbirds to redeploy sufficiently well. In terms of where your actual forces are and how much time has passed, it's been a few hours, I think. What's his name? Coayah deployed in the brush and scrub outside of Zaragoth, but they weren't fighting out there for that long. They had Zaragothi military forces deployed to fight them fairly rapidly, but also those same forces attempted to redeploy to counter the drop pod assault on the middle of their city, which began slaughtering their people, which is, not great, but also you were clearly dealing with a society who are not used to drop pod combat, and they were not expecting that level of redeployment that quickly. I actually just need to nip to the toilet. I would suggest you all talk amongst yourselves and identify a strategy for young Nicholas, including him. I think that's the salient points for the strategy side of things.
Basically, what I would say is we can't risk that Thumbs manages to disable the orbital defenses that we vaguely know about. We can't risk the Obsidian Heart or any other Void assets. I think we go with another option for it, which is basically, well, someone, I don't know who, should get in a Stormbird, get their Marines, and try and infiltrate the city from the sea. We are our Space Marines, we can swim really well.
Can't anymore.
Well, not you, but you're also trapped in an underground bloody metroplex. Other than that, I really don't know what we do, because obviously we had a plan. The plan started and then didn't, so... I mean...
Right, is it possible to bombard some of the aero bases?
So the problem is we have to move into mid to low orbit to do that, and orbital defenses will wreck us if we do that.
I was hoping we could do it in that range, but oh well.
Mm.
The problem is the further out of range you go, the less accurate you can be. So, once you start chucking stuff at a world from that range, it's mostly a case of you don't really give a monkeys where it hits.
Yeah, it was more that I wasn't aware of just how good how their range was for void defenses.
We don't know is the thing. Like, we know they have some, and we've maybe disabled one of them. We haven't disabled the rest of them.
I think I for an underwater stroll. Sorry.
In terms of in-atmosphere planes, they only actually have 2 airports under control still, presumably. It's only all in Rastic's Mark stuff taken out.
Yeah, Rastic's Mark probably isn't a reliable place to launch major airplanes from at the moment.
Okay, so how many Marines are currently outside with Carl?
Carl has command... sorry, do you mean outside, like, directly...
Yeah, and not trapped in a metro.
Questionable, but I suppose you'd have the squad dynamics available, at least within Zaragoth. Basically, we'll say it's probably about half and half from Coatlmox's squad, so 3 squads underground, 3 squads above ground, plus... minus Kuzco's squad.
So, they have obviously they've got an airport in Marotha itself here. They've got Defiance Aeroplex, which I think is theirs. I'm not sure.
'Tis indeed.
Okay. Then they've obviously got one in Rastic's Mark, but that's not going to be helping them.
Yeah, the Rastic's Mark airport is currently not operational. Rastic's Mark is like full civil war. The Hoyran Principality, like even the Defiance Aeroplex isn't really committing to you right now.
Just to clarify, does Defiant Aeroplex have void shielding over it?
It does not, no.
Okay. Current plan. Kuzco/Carl should get in a Stormbird with the Marines currently under his command and turn Defiance Aeroplex into a smoking crater with everything he's got. Like, get over there, kill everyone.
You probably
blow down the resupply air war.
You probably don't have the air support for that, honestly. They're going to blow you out of the sky as you approach.
How fast is the Dreadclaw deploying? Would it get through the air defenses? Or?
We don't have the Marines to deploy in them as it is. It's a thing.
You can try to redeploy your Dreadclaws back to space, but they're not really... So they do have the option that they can do that. They don't need to be manually collected, but also they're going to have issues with it. This is the problem you're facing, is the air layer of the planet is not under your control, and you're rapidly losing influence over it even. I think I mentioned it to Benji, actually. Your Imperial Army troops aren't that much endangered. You captured Zaragoth, or are in the process of capturing Zaragoth, so they'll have access to additional weapons and supplies. Your Marines are going to start running low on bolt shells fairly rapidly.
Okay. Here's what I think we should do in that case. If we can't get a hold of the Marotha Metroplex, we have Malcadors deployed on planet, right? We have a fair amount of mechanized forces deployed on planet with the Solian Salutaires, was it?
Certainly. You're currently lacking massively in light tank of any kind, but heavy tanks, in fact, technically super heavy tanks, you're oversubscribed.
Okay, so, obviously, it's hard to get down into the metro for this lot are urban siege and warfare specialists. What if we drive the Malcadors into the metro system
Love it.
The metro
and launch
system,
an assault from beneath?
The metro system is not wide enough for Malcadors.
But are Malcadors strong enough for them to not mind?
They can't just drive through the dirt. Not a stand.
We don't have termite assault drills. If we had termite assault drills, this would be easy because we just drill under and drill up in the middle of them. But we don't, sadly.
Yeah, I'm just double checking. Yeah, no, a Malcador's too wide for a standard metro system, I would say.
We should get some for next time, though.
What, termite assault drills? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Terrax assault drills there at the moment. The termite's the Mechanicus version.
How long would it take to get the Macuiltotes to the Defiance Aeroplex?
Quite a while. That's a cross-continent drive lengthways. Especially under air assault.
No.
Okay. Decision from you, Nicholas, in the next 30 seconds, or we're going to skip over to someone else. On what you want to do.
I'd like them to try to take the other orbital defense platform.
Thumbs would like to know what you want done with this orbital defense laser. Do you?
As I said last session, just leave it now. He's taken it, everyone's run off. It's unlikely they'll probably come back. If they do...
To reiterate, they can't even slightly guarantee that everyone's run off. They've cleared out the upper levels, but it's a colossal facility.
Yeah, well, it's... We can hope. It's better to have, as I said last time, it's better to have one taken and one maybe taken than just one taken and one not taken.
I've got to say, young Nicholas, how lucky you feeling with your aim?
Oh, you think they'll try firing a few orbitals
Move in and shoot first.
You can't fire from high orbit. You need to do from
low
orbit if you want to actually hit a specific target.
Well, what you could do, because we don't think these ones have aerial defences at them, because obviously we took the first one and they've got a Stormbird. Or did they take the Firebird? I can't tell.
They took
do a flyover as you move in from high orbit.
They took the Stormbird, but the Stormbird was almost shot out of the sky, taking Defense Laser 1, I guess. Defense Laser 2,
okay.
You can redeploy towards it, but you're already playing dicily at this point. Basically, your Stormbird's Void Shields are taking a lot of punishment, but they won't take infinite punishment, and at this point it's fairly clear that your enemy is aware of that, and that you don't have that many. If they can just blow or at least they're gambling on the fact that if they can just blow your Stormbirds out of the sky, you don't have any more. They don't know.
Have we got meteor dragging capabilities on any of our ships?
We've got void ships.
I was thinking we could fire those from fairly safe.
I mean, fuck it, at this point, move in and shoot first.
I mean, you can
obliterate the orbital defences and just turn Maroth into a pile of rubble at this point. The Void Shield array will not hold up a sustained bombardment. I honestly don't see another way around this. We don't have the air power to infiltrate people closer. We don't have Draculaws to infiltrate people closer. We are running out of options. We will need to resupply at some point. We can't launch an assault on the Maroth and metroplexic itself. The line will be too strong. I say move in from high orbit, destroy the orbital defense labors with the first shot, then just pound Marotha into nothingness.
Commander Nazeem?
The orbital lasers. What's their field of fire like?
I would say
they're like directly up 45 degrees.
The continent's high orbit. You functionally can't get a clear shot at Marotha without coming into you can't get a clear shot at anywhere visible on the map without coming into range of the orbital lasers.
And what if we came in elsewhere on the planet and then flew underneath?
So you need in order to... So the way low orbit works, right, in order to get a shot off and not be hit by your own backwash, you need to come in at a very precise altitude. There is an optimum sort of Goldilocks zone for orbital bombardment, and if you're not in that zone, you're either too close or too far away. Too close, you hit yourself, no matter what else you do. Too far away, you hit the planet, but you have no ability to aim. You will hit areas around the target you want, which may or may not work, and depending on your sustainability, you might not give a shit. But
do it and say it's a warning shot.
It's not.
We miss and hit the wrong bit. We kill the planet.
I was taking the piss.
Yeah, if you fire and miss Marotha, you will hit the sea around Marotha, which will fuck either the farmland or Hoirantis.
So what I'm thinking is if we come in elsewhere and we come in underneath the firing arc, so we're not in orbital.
If you come in underneath the firing arc, you will have to rise to meet the firing arc.
Yeah, that's for orbital bombardment. I'm showing we have other cannons and so forth on the ship. Yes.
Orbital bombardment is only called orbital bombardment because you are bombarding from orbit. It does not mean a specific designation. If you try to come in that much lower, you are going to hit yourself in the backwash. And or expose yourself to, like, shit tons of the localized air force that's currently hamming you.
So I'm going off the... Okay, so we have no small arms fire at all on the ship, like cannons taking out fighters flying around us.
You do have cannons for taking out fighters. They do exist, but they're like las cannon equivalent. You can't functionally use them to bombard a city. Like
no, that wasn't my thought at all.
And they're also made for taking out void fighters, which means the intention is that they're sniping people who are, in conventional arms terms, a really fucking long way away. You know, a couple of 100 miles a lot of the time. They're not made to fight hundreds to thousands of fighters at the same time. They're made to fight dozens of fighters.
I have some ideas. One a little ludicrous. If we have a least favourite orbital ship, we could just crash that ship straight into the airport at Marotha. There'll probably be enough of it landing. No, if we send a small one, I'm sure.
Even a light cruiser crashing into a planet will kill a planet. It's a cataclysmic impact.
Technically, it does depend on the speed at which it crashes, but that's a skilled shot. If you're going to crash in at, like, achingly slow speed, just enough to snipe Marotha without being enough to kill the whole planet.
This is a terrible idea, but, how many of our tanks have we deployed?
Overall, not that many. It's mostly just been the Soliant Saliateers, who've taken a fair amount of losses, but most of the tanks have been actually salvageable even when they've fallen from orbit.
They're Malcadors.
Right, so...
Kind of hard to kill a Malcador.
So, considering they're pretty hard to kill, right, just chuck tanks at them.
They're pretty hard to kill when they're, falling from orbit or into, thickly shrubbed terrain. They're less hard to kill when they're charging a void-shielded gun line.
Oh, no, I meant, chuck them at them from space.
Oh, I see. Yeah, in that case, I suppose the incidents
just
would
impact the void shields and detonate, which is
it depends
kind of pointlessly a complete waste of Archaeotech tanks.
Oh no, the aeroplexes.
Depends how hard you... Defiant's aeroplex is a bonus target at this point. It does depend how hard you... how hard you impact the tanks. If you throw them slow enough, then again, you can... And then they've got to fall through most of the planet's gravity well, so they probably would still hit the void shields.
They will reach terminal velocity going through that gravity well.
And the tanks might survive, but 99% of the time, the humans piloting them won't. Even if you put an Astartes in there, it's typically not going to...
Not a concern.
Well, you are, because then you're just throwing Archaeotech tanks at people, and they're going to be going, oh, thanks for the tank.
Yeah, that is...
Oh no, the people surviving.
Yeah, but then they can't operate tank.
Other plan
bombs on it.
is we switch to long con mode. I slowly march up some Marines towards Marotha to try and take it out. We send some boys towards Zelona, and then with Zelona and Zaragot, we will cut off their food source, which is towards Fury. We could take that if we wanted to.
That is extremely fair. They will eventually, and to a degree even rapidly, starve out if just sieged.
Yeah. Because Zelona is probably one of the last ports that's super safe. Well, they have Port Vorat, but Vorat itself won't have access to the food if we take out Zelona.
Thinking about this, we're doing this all wrong. we're going straight from Marotha, right? What is to the south of us? What have we done to Marotha? Think about this.
Yeah, we
completely cut them off their food. Yeah, so why don't we just take all of... Oh, sorry. I thought Creed was still on...
That's exactly what he just said.
Sorry, in my brain, Creed was still on the I want to charge the void-shielded city.
Yeah. So I was saying, if we take Zelona, we'll probably have fully cut them off. Because that's the only other port relatively close to the food, which might be able to get them.
Zelona is also the seat of their major navy in the Bight. Zelona is void shielded, but it's primarily the docks that are void shielded, not the entire city. So the navy is shielded.
Okay. Right then. That sounds good. I think we change to Long Con.
We've still got to deal with the air war is the thing. We're losing
we have to retreat on the air war, I think.
I don't think we can do much about the air war for now.
Get on the blower and call in Hyrantis.
Hyrantis is currently engaged in a full-scale invasion of Port Voront on the expectation that you were going to Space Warrior your way through this.
We're taking out Port Voront, that might help.
They're trying to take out Port Voront. Port Voront's, solely armoured against Hyrantis fucking them over, to be fair. So their track record here is not great.
In any case, I'm going to tell 5 of the Marines with me to stay, and the others to go find a way out of this tunnel and find Kuzco.
Okay, we have so many Marines down there, we should leave... We'll leave 20 at Zaragoth, have the Air Force fall back, protect the Death Claws while they pull back up, and then we'll send everyone else to Zelona, the port we were just talking about.
Zelona is a major fortress, is the thing. So
yeah, we'll redeploy tanks down as well to help with taking it. And we'll bring, say, 20 with the Death Claws redeploying. Bring 20 Space Marines back up. We leave 20 in Zaragoth. Bring 20 back up. Have the rest start moving to Zelona, and we drop some tanks and some more army attachments down as well to help.
I hate to say it, I don't think we can bring the Dreadclaws back up. They're too vulnerable.
That's why I was saying we bring all the Air Force, hopefully, back over.
Even with all of our Air Force, they're so vulnerable.
Why have I come into the game and there's just a fuck ton of dreadnoughts in Discord chat?
Well, Creed's not got any limbs left, so you know.
Ewan, what's our air looking like then? How thin is it? Is it strong enough to defend the Dreadclaws while they come back up, or is
strong
it not?
enough to defend the Stormbirds whilst they come up, because they've got void shielding. The Dreadclaws do not. The Dreadclaws, I think they got relatively fast on the way up, but Benji's kind of right. You'd be rolling for it, basically. So it might go completely fine, or you might lose half your Dreadclaw stock. Both are entirely possible.
They get more, right? Or no, they're limited, aren't they?
Well, I mean, especially at this early junction of the Great Crusade, you do not have more. They didn't even issue you with spare... you've got a spare Stormbird. Technically, you've got 2 spare Stormbirds. So you've got 2 spare Stormbirds. You do not have spare Dreadclaws. The expectation is that you're not going to, lose all of your vehicles immediately. Especially as you're not a forward fleet. You're just operating at the outer edge of the Crusade. You're not a vanguard expeditionary force.
Okay. Okay, I guess we'll leave the Dreadclaws down there. We'll have to bring bringing the Air Force back, so the other aircraft. So yeah, basically bringing all the aircraft back. Is that going to leave Zaragoth and whatnot open to air attack, isn't it, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Yes, basically. I would say pick a place or thing, and you can defend that in the air, and everything else is almost open season. Zaragoth has the advantage that even with a shit ton of refugees fleeing the city, there's still a load of people there, and the Marothans are unlikely to want to bomb their own people.
Yeah.
At least in the first day of the war. Cool. So it sounds like command is slightly paralyzed for choice. Can I get a vote from the field commanders? The people who have command on the field are, by my count, Maccy, Kuzco, and Coayah. Anything you all want to be doing?
Aren't I currently pacifying the secondary laser base?
No, you were going to jet off to it, but you haven't moved yet.
Right. Okay, I'm going to go do that then.
In which case, I will say to current. So, what are our current assets at Zaragoth, where I am, having rounded up a bunch of their military?
The troops you brought with you and the Space Marines who are not trapped in the metroplex. Metroplex, not trapped in the metro.
Do I have a Stormbird that I can use to get around, or not?
I think it's been like... So we basically assumed it was running as a command center for you, which means it's not been like flying high, it's been low flying and moving slowly forwards with the front line. So I would say sure, you have a Stormbird.
Right. Okay. In which case, I would like to converse... Because we've gotten some orders from command, basically take Zelosa and Talatio.
I mean, the orders from command have been mixed. They've said everything from like advance south to bomb the north to take secret installation in the mountain range.
Right. In which case, I would turn to Carl and say this: you stay here with command over the forces you have. Take the Solent Salutaires. Leave a garrison here to guard the prisoners and use them as bargaining chips and not get Zaragoth bombed into the ground. Take your forces south to Talatio, which is pretty much largely undefended. Zelona is the port, yes, but Zelona has a major fortress and will need other stuff. This will draw the ire of Morothan south. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Stormbird. I'm going to take my Marines. Okay, my 10. We're going to get in a Stormbird. We're going to take our armor off. We're going to deploy a sort of about here from a high impact drop, and we're going to swim into the Morothan metroplexic and infiltrate it that way. Cause fuck it, the plan's going to I'm going to get this plan to work if it bloody kills me.
Didn't you just
on a note of the Marines we have available, I just want 5 to stay with me and continue my crazy mission north in the tunnels, and the rest to head back and try and get out of the tunnels.
I think you mentioned, actually. Though, for the record, did Coayah not just try to issue Kuzco 2 orders, one which was stay here and the other was head south?
No.
Sounded like
I said, leave a garrison here to take care of the large amount of prisoners we have, then you lead the forces south.
Yeah, right.
Go full scorched earth on Talatio if you have to. I don't care. Just draw their attention.
Okay. So who wants to go first? Who's doing what?
Well, I'm going to go try and destroy the other laser battery.
Okay, Maccy, you call in your transport. Air-to-air is pretty heavy around here, so it is difficult to get skyborne. In fact, exceedingly difficult, as you know, partway through, that air cover around you seems to have been pulled back to Zaragoth. I will take... What is that? I guess that's a command roll, I think, probably. Yeah, I'll take command of a fellowship at a +0, please, Maccy.
Command over fellowship, 40 or under. I make it, dead on.
There you go.
Dead on. 1 degree of success. Okay, so it is only by you... Sorry, I'm echoing on someone. It is only by you forcing your way into the Stormbird's front cabin and manually directing the crew to follow your particular directions, zooming at a low flying altitude, nipping between peak and peak, that you are able to make it to broadly the secondary area without being immediately shot out of the sky by the Morothan Air Force, which is proving alarmingly fearsome. Okay, I think you know how this goes, Maccy. In order to find the requisite installation, I will take awareness over perception at a +0, please.
Cool. Awareness, which I am trained in, so I guess it's +10. So, awareness, section 40, 50 or under. I'm going to spend a fate point. I'm not going to spend any more fate points. So that's 50 or under, so 3 degrees of fading.
3 degrees of failure. You eventually find that though it is not shot down, your Stormbird is forced to put down in a specific... Well, you know what, I'll give you the choice. You can either put down in a valley and pile out of your Stormbird before it retreats back up to the Obsidian Heart for repairs, or you can go with your Havoc Squad and the Stormbird back up to the Obsidian Heart.
No, me and my Havoc Squad will make our ways. Do we know how far away I am from the base?
No, you have no idea. You sort of looked in the area but couldn't see from the air. A good deal of this coming from the fact that you're being harassed to all shit by the air-to-air power Marotha is putting out.
Are there powerful enough optical systems on the Obsidian Heart to look down and locate for us?
Depends on what type of readable output the defense laser has. If it's anything like the other one, where it's not actually turned on, then probably not.
I just need to grab something out the oven. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Sorry. Bad timing, isn't it?
It's excessively bad timing, Ollie. You know what? Screw him. Skip back. Any of the other field commanders, what do? Coatlmox or Kuzco? Sorry, Coatlmox or Kuzco? Kuzco or Zoya?
I guess I'll arrange for a detail to garrison the current location and to source you out down south.
Cool. Who do you have in garrison the place?
I don't actually know anyone here.
You know everyone in the company by name. We established this. You probed everyone personally.
Oh yeah, but me, like I.
Give me a number then, I guess. Like 1 squad, half a squad, that type of thing.
I'll leave like a quarter of my forces here. Like I don't. How many I've got again?
It's 2.5 Marines.
Brother
Okay, 2.5.
Brother Apothecary, I would suggest leaving 3 Marines in command here, along with perhaps 5% of the Solian Salutaires to garrison the city. I would break the captured Zaragothian military up into small groups and place them throughout the city. Well, no, they're currently all collected together as POWs. I would separate them into small groups and place their holding cells throughout the city. This way, if the Morothans try to attack it, they will risk killing their own.
Oh yeah, I was more thinking of like all your eggs in one basket, sort of like why are they all together?
Easier to move.
I mean, we're still in the middle of an operation, so we haven't really had time for that anyway, not the point.
So what are you doing then, Carl?
What was suggested? Sorry, that wasn't a question. It's like finishing off, I'm doing what was suggested.
I mean, you explained it to me. I'm reluctant to take Benji's version of events.
Okay, 3 Marines in command, probably 3 of my most competent, like, I'm gonna go with, 2, 5, and 6, in terms of level of competency for warfare. 5% of the, planetary, army force we've got. I can't remember what they're called, that was just mentioned.
Soviet Salutaires are in Army Group Delta.
Salutaires, thank you. Them guys. And splitting up the prisoners into more easily manageable camps about the various areas that are easily defended.
Okay. I will take... I mean, this seems like a reasonably complex order for Kuzco. I will take a command roll, please, at a +0.
Okay, I believe I am untrained in yeah. Untrained, and it's... I want to somehow roll off, intelligence, but...
You're not on -20, though.
Is it not a basic skill? Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't get any pluses either.
Nah, it's a +0 this case, I believe.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't have anything that can boost my fellowship. Can't argue any other characteristic to roll it off. Oh well. 2 degrees failure.
Yeah, you give what orders you can. You illustrate 3 of your more competent Marines to stay behind and organize this stuff, but also you've inherited a lot of POWs from Coayah's assault, and you're not super confident that this isn't going to immediately run into issues. Nevertheless, you do the best you can. It's about halfway through that Coatlmox's half of the force in the metroplex, in the metro managed to wind their way back up bringing with them a wheelbarrow bearing what is left of Brother Coatlmox, the Indefatigable. I suppose let's check in with the medic and see as you're sort of waltzing down a ruined street, having ordered your men as best you can, as well as the accompanying Imperial Auxilia, when you see the shattered form of Brother Coatlmox, Brother Lieutenant Coatlmox, in fact, the only Space Marine casualty so far. What do... Sorry?
I thought he was staying down in the metroplex, wasn't he?
I was going to stay down with 5 Marines and keep pushing north.
Oh. Well, yeah, you've also failed 2 rolls to push northwards at this point, I think, unfortunately. So I don't think you've been able to find a path.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry, so
once
then...
once he was the Indefatigable, now he is merely the in pieces.
Well, no, he's still indefatigable. He's not asking to be evac or anything. So, with a cry of, "This isn't north," Coatlmox emerges into the daylight, almost directly in front of you.
Can I see any prisoners of war who look like they're in rail operator uniforms?
I would say no.
Right. No laser eyes of wrath today.
What do Kuzco?
Sorry, when did it come back to me?
That whole
Hello,
thing.
brother. I could use a hand.
Oh, right.
And an arm. 2. And some legs.
I can see that, brother. Unfortunately, I present lack the required materials to repair you.
I will say, brother, you were issued them at the beginning of the campaign. Did you lose them?
Afraid so.
You note with some irritation, Coatlmox, that you seem to be on the general command box again.
Alright. Damn suit's broken, I think.
You can give him, like, general surgery.
Yeah.
As he's currently still sat at, I think, 10 critical damage. No, you reset to 0, right? You spent a fate.
Yeah.
Yeah, we burnt it.
Yeah, sorry, burn a fate.
So yeah, basic first aid is all we're going to get at this point, unless, like, we're doing the, I was just about to march off. So I wouldn't really say I have full time for, like, proper surgery.
Depends how you want to make your time, really. You don't have to spend time on healing them up if you don't want to.
I'll be happy with a quick first aid if it gets me a wound.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quick first aid is...
I think you get... Well, you don't get a malus, do you? Because he's technically at 0 wounds.
Always heal slightly damaged for one or multiple reasons as well.
Alright, fair.
I have the old pet blood. And potentially something else.
Medicaid.
Or I sample.
And roll a Medicaid unless I'm being told anything else.
No, Medicate plus 0.
Hey, 2 degrees of success.
Cool. In that case, Coatlmox, if you'd like to heal, 2 plus whatever Kuzco's int bonus is. 6, thank you.
2 plus 6 or 6 total?
2 plus 6.
Wonderful. Thank you, brother.
As he gives you basic first aid, sews up the bleeding bits, prizes the iron and assorted scrap out of the worst of your wounds. Generally, biofoams you until you're not a complete wrecked mess. You're just a sort of nugget of hate and prejudice.
Just like me.
With that, begins his trek off to the south. Should we check in with Nazeem? What are we up to in command, Nazeem? Young Nicholas? You might be muted. There we go.
It's just kind of going, isn't it? There's not much for me to do, I don't think.
It depends what you want to do, mate.
I think it's just to see how it goes. I mean, everyone's moving. Everyone knows what they're doing, right?
I think that's more of a question for you than it is for me. Coayah seems to be hijacking your show on the ground, if nothing else. Issuing these orders, not even checking in. Tut-tut.
It all seems fine. I see no additional orders needed.
Of course. It's fine that it's all Coayah, I mean, After all, he is a professional. And with that, a mostly non-perplexed Nazeem continues studying the tactical hololith. In fact, strategic hololith. Let's skip over to Maccy. You've had a short flight over to the approximate area of ground defense laser B.
Mm-hmm.
However, your Stormbird has been forced to withdraw back to the Obsidian Heart, and your air cover is nil. Now, you need to hike through the mountains in order to find this thing on foot with hostile air control, meaning a shit ton of people shooting at you from the skies. I will take, I think, awareness over perception, probably, at a -30.
Oh shit, I just realised I didn't take into account my armour traits and my standard heightened sensors. I forgot to give myself a +20 to my... That would have been 1 degree of failure rather than 3.
Fair, it doesn't really affect it at this point, unfortunately.
No, that's fine. But yeah, so awareness is with suit and my standard stuff, +20 to awareness, and it's a +30. Perception, so 70 or under then. And what, did I get any minuses, did you say?
-30.
Oh wow, so net zero then. Cool, 40 or under. Oh, nope.
That looks wrong. You can't roll a 0.
I can roll a
Apparently,
7.
the man emperor of mankind has reached down and said, "Yes, my son."
Holy fuck. What was the DOS?
3.
3.
I'm getting a drink. Give me a sec.
That's the story god's going, you fucking what, GM? You can't say those words.
What's
I'll
this
show
day is
you.
crap. There are no gods here.
Oh, alright. 3 DOS, did you say, Ollie?
Mm-hmm.
You don't so much find Orbital Defense Laser B as stumble into it. More specifically, stubbing your toe on one of the entrance hatches, concealed cleverly within a snowy peak.
Guys, I found it. I knew it was here.
Some would call it impressive to manage to stub one's toe through a power-armoured boot and multiple feet of snow.
Brother,
I have a heavy step.
found a way.
With that, you dust the snow away from the entrance and, revealing the hatch beneath, elect to enter.
Mm-hmm.
How are you approaching clearing this one out, Ollie?
Let's go full, was it Night Warriors? Or whatever,
Night Lords.
Night Lords, there we go, that's close enough.
Oh, okay, so you're bringing the skinning knives out then, are we?
Oh, I mean, I meant more stealthing around and just, combat knifing everyone.
That would be the Raven Guard /
Oh, okay.
It's
They're
still
not Dusk Raiders, are they?
It's still
What are they at the moment?
Actually, no, it's still early Crusade, so the Raven Guard and the Night Lords are almost interchangeable.
Yeah, but the Raven Lords are horrible and brutal, but they're not into skinning people, is my point.
They kind of are.
Kind of aren't.
Well, like, the fucking, with the Carcharodon's rewrite...
Pale Nomads. Pale Nomads. That's what they are.
I'm just gonna go around, stealth knifing everyone. Is what I'm trying to. No skinning, no eating of flesh, no hapless stealing of things that aren't nailed down. Well, maybe some trophies. But...
I mean, skinning is it's not a tradition for your Legion, but it's certainly a thing that a lot of people seem very enthusiastic about. You've heard Coayah and Coatlmox discuss it an uncomfortable number of times. I will take... Sorry? I will take weapon skill at +0, please, there, Maccy.
Yeah. This is a 30 or under. I'm going to spend a fate. Yeah, I make it.
There you go.
What is this jammy nonsense you're coming at me with? Did you drain Carl's luck at the start of the session? What is this bullshit?
Pretty much. Looks like it.
What's the DOS?
That was 30 or under, so just the one.
Okay. This station is staffed with a more hardened variant of local soldier. Nevertheless, you can be as hard as you like, but a combat knife to the throat from behind tends to offend.
Especially when wielded by an 8-foot-tall super soldier.
And you and your Havoc squad spread slowly through the upper levels of the facility, murdering, massacring, slaughtering one by one. Nazeem has not received a report from the surface in some time when he gets a vox from the approximate zone housing defense laser B, suggesting that the installation is, as near as you can tell, at least in the upper levels, all clear. Which means Nazeem, notionally, assuming no shenanigans or other hidden defenses, you should be clear for orbital bombardment. What do?
Troops are still en route to Zelenora, right?
Assuming no major deviations in character plan since the last time we checked in, Army Group Delta was heading south to Zelona and Talisho and the farmlands type of an area. There was a small garrison looking to retain not even retain control of Zaragoth, honestly, because you kind of can't at this point, almost, not whilst also heading south. You also had some Marines who were trying to head north but wound up exiting the local metro system, and a number of Marines who were looking to make an ocean drop into the waters surrounding the spur.
Okay, it's probably worth descending and just wiping this orbital off the map, just in case.
Which orbital?
The first one. So.
Both of them. Really?
Well, if we can hold the other one, it's more infrastructure we have when we do hold the planet. So,
just
happy to destroy one, but let's try not to destroy both. Because Maccy can stay at the other one, it's fine.
Plus, we can give it to the ad making, it might make them a bit happier at us.
Exactly. So, we'll destroy the first one, leave the second one intact, and occupied.
Exactly, it's absolutely fine. Maccy has no qualms about being left out of the rest of the conquest. No issue at all about everyone else getting all of the glory.
He'll be relieved at some point.
Exactly, at some point, after everyone else is done with the cool shit.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, what the fuck does your fleet roll at? Imperial Army Forces roll at 40 or under. This would be a young Nicholas roll. We'll say... I want to say, so it's Navigate Void over Ballistic Skill. Technically it's over Agility, but we'll say Ballistic Skill for the purposes of this. So, young Nicholas, you may count yourself as trained since you're directing the bridge crew. I will take Operate Void over Ballistic Skill at, if I recall correctly, in -30.
He is firing on a known location where he doesn't have to be that accurate, though. Like,
he's trying to hit.
He's got to be pretty accurate, but he does have to mostly hit a known location in a mountain range. It's not like he's going to try and snipe out
when you
the Zelona without hitting the ocean.
Zelona's way bigger than the installation.
Yeah, I know, but he can't. At that point, he can't hit the ocean, or he kills most of Rastic's mark.
When you fire from when you try to do an orbital bombardment, it's not necessarily that you miss your target totally. It's that you miss your target initially. If you hit, then you hit just the target. If you miss the target and have to walk your way over. Is usually how it goes. So you're not firing to see if you can kill the thing. You're firing to see how precise you are at killing the thing.
Oh, this is going to be, correct if I'm wrong, young Nicholas, like 5 or under?
It's like zeroing your scopes, isn't it, basically? Can I take, because it's orbital, we have to get into low orbit anyway, can I take 10 minutes just lining it up so I can get foresight?
You can take your foresight. A standard void turn in Rogue Trader is 30 minutes, so you can take your foresight.
Nice. That's -20 then. nothing else that can give me any bonuses, so...
I believe in you. Get a 1.
So yeah, it's a ballistic, so that's minus 20, so 15.
Sorry, just for my reference before you roll, actually, Ollie just got 15 random, so I believe in you. Which ship are you shooting with? Is it just the Obsidian Heart? I assume so, because that's the one you're on the deck of. Cool, okay.
Yeah, no.
Roll away. Looks like
I'll fate it, fuck it.
you're going to fate on the 2 doff.
Oh, actually, no, wait, just walk it over, isn't it? That's it. Yeah, actually, we'll leave that as is.
Go on, fate.
The question is, where did you hit?
Get 100.
No, I'm not
fine.
I
doubt he's just totally aced Maccy. That would be silly.
Yeah, no, I'll leave it like that. That's fine.
We got 2 dreadnoughts in one session.
Don't be silly. If he actually hits you to the extent that it... Well, no, you've got fate to burn, actually. You can survive. Give me a D10, please, Nicholas. For direction.
Die.
Problem with that one is I don't think there's anything left if he gets hit by orbital bombardment. Like,
Be enough juice for a dreadnought.
I don't think there would be. Like,
I don't think we'll be that
you
far
got hit by orbital weaponry.
Yeah,
Come on, we're not be that far off, guys.
Generally,
Jesus.
there would not be. The thing that keeps you being able to play at that point is the fact that you are a player character. That is, you're surviving on plot armor.
Also, you're so far away, I don't think I'm going to miss that badly.
Yeah.
He said, before crashing the ship into the
He's
beast.
also not wrong. We did betray an entire continent, and you're like 4 squares on that continent away. I don't think No, I did not set these out to be an accurate measure, but by any stretch of the imagination, he can't miss that badly.
I mean, maximum I might be a square out. Maximum.
I'm just looking up the scatter, real quick.
6. I want to say, I hope it's down.
Well, just pray to God that Ollie did in fact disable both the batteries.
I mean, they were disabled when I left. Now,
Yeah, they were disabled when he left.
You hoped.
No, they weren't manned. I don't think he actually disabled them.
Well, he hoped they weren't manned. He cleared the upper level.
Yeah, exactly.
it's alright. I scared everyone so bad that I'm sure it'll be fine. And you know what? Worst comes to worst.
You get hit by an orbital weapon, or the Obsidian Heart takes significant anti-orbital fire.
If the Obsidian Heart takes significant anti-orbital fire, that sounds more like a Nick problem than a me problem, to be honest.
It sounds like an us problem. That's our fucking flagship.
Oh, wow.
It would be slightly funny if the Obsidian Heart was blown out of the skies.
At least most of the Marines aren't on it.
I think at that point I might need to just roll to resist the urge to shoot myself.
Well, this is over. Bang. We had a good run, brain.
Just get on the interstellar Vox to fucking what's his face? Not Michelco, goddamn Maundrico. Look, can I come and join you?
6. The Southwest. Yeah, Nicholas. Can I get another D10, please? No. Oh, wow, 10. Okay, fair enough. You win. Army Group Delta has just about entered the extreme fringes of Zaragoth.
Oh, Jesus.
When they observe a crippling phenomena. Colossal munitions launching down from the sky, as well as a rake of lance batteries, blinding white, maiming the eyes of nearby troopers, until many of them begin to shield themselves and pop on their visors. As the Obsidian Heart in low orbit above begins blasting and thoroughly missing, starts its bombardment hundreds of kilometers to the southwest of the installation they intend to bombard. Now,
I couldn't miss that. That's 4 squares away, he said.
Wait, what?
I'm being slightly unfair to Nicholas because he got a 10 when I was about to shorten the range massively, but he'd already rolled. And also drama.
I mean, what's even the point of targeting computers at this point?
I know, right? Why do they have to go into like low orbit? I might as well just done it from high orbit.
From high orbit, you wouldn't have stood a fucking chance of hitting anything. This is why you have to shoot from low orbit.
It's going to make a real neat trench near Zaragoth, though, if we ever need to fortify up.
It is quite a narrow blast, but an overwhelming sea of blast waves, firestorms, and superheated air compressing and then imploding begins to blast out as the obsidian heart overhead carves a path towards Orbital Defense Laser A, and then simply blows it out of the Gralloch range. The whole thing lasts perhaps half an hour, but in that time, fires begin raging throughout the lightly forested scrub to the west of the Gralloch range. Refugees zooming north as fast as they can along the road towards the Marotha metroplexic begin speeding up or going off-road as they desperately attempt to outrun first the shockwaves, then the earthquakes, then the roving firestorms. Kuzco, in this time, has gathered up his troops and begun heading south along a, likewise, relatively nearby road, actually. Kuzco, I will take a speedy command roll at a +10, please, to see how your troops deal with this.
That goes well. No, degree of failure.
Degree of failure. You take more casualties than you should, as in the initial wave, quite a number are not necessarily permanently blinded, but their vision, at least towards the rear, is permanently fucked. It's not a great situation. Let's check in with Coatlmox and Coayah. What were the two of you doing? We'll say you're placed just before Kuzco leaves town heading south, and therefore maybe half an hour, an hour before the orbital bombardment comes in.
I'm doing
Do I know the orbital bombardment's coming? Have we been getting a countdown or anything?
It's a good question. Nazeem, what level of informed, because it's clear the Imperial Army isn't, what level of informed are your Marines on the ground?
Definitely, at least to the degree of, there's one incoming, 1 minute away, 30 seconds away, 10 seconds.
Okay, so
firing.
A minute before, you get a vague warning that there's hopefully a bombardment coming soon, and then a minute before it hits, a warning goes out over the general Astartes Vox that, yeah, the bombardment's on its way, get to cover.
Would this be good cover for a Dreadclaw sneaking back to base?
Probably not.
No?
If nothing else, the base in question would be the Obsidian Heart, which at the moment is in low orbit and therefore dealing with a fair number of ambitious air-to-air fighters trying to probe its void shield and see if they can get through.
I don't know what I can do. Marines,
you kind of cut out for me there, Cread, sorry.
Marines, find me auto carriages. We go back in the tunnels. Through the rules.
Sure, it's not at all difficult for you to find an auto carriage, and that will fit. How many Marines are you gathering for this?
5 and me.
Just because, for the record, I think you had 60 under your command.
Yeah. Well, initially I was leaving all but 5 of them. To Kuzco. That's the plan.
Yeah, Kuzco only left 3 people here, though.
Alright, the rest can stay here and wait for them.
I mean, that's fair. Sorry, so in that case, if I'm reading this correctly, Kuzco has his 10 Marines. There was 60 total. He had 10, you had 50. So that means Kuzco's taken, what is that? 57 of the Marines, I think?
He said to leave a quarter, didn't he?
Well, he said it was going to leave 3 of his Marines.
He said a quarter, you said 3.
No, I didn't say 3.
You said
3.
Sure you didn't.
I did not.
A quarter was roughly 3.
Yeah. He was talking about his Marines, but apparently Coatlmox has passed his Marines on to you. So where we at? Kuzco. How many Marines have you got with you?
I would still say a quarter, but however much that is with the combined forces.
15 or so, I believe. Sorry, quarter with you or quarter stayed?
Stayed.
In that case, you've got 57 minus 15 is 47, 42 with you, not including yourself.
And that many, yeah.
Fair. 42 with you, as well as quite a number of the remaining Soviet Salutaires. You left just enough in Zaragoza to garrison it, plus 15 Marines. Oh, that's assuming that fucking Coatlmox didn't take... Sorry, I'm echoing on someone. Assuming that Coatlmox didn't take 15 with him, and he took 5, so you've got like... Yeah. Fuck it, we'll say you left 15, you took 38, and Coatlmox has got 5. Cool. Kuzco's heading south. Coatlmox is hijacking an auto carriage and then trying to drive it along the metro tracks northwards. Yeah. What is Coayah up to?
As I said, I'm going for my drop.
It's a race then.
Fair warning to Coayah, because you've basically lost the air war at this point, they're going to see where you drop. There's a not insignificant chance that you'll get blown out of the water.
Come with me, brother. Grab an auto carriage. Surely it's the least
You're going back in those sodding tunnels.
Of course. An auto carriage will take no time at all, I'm sure.
You look at him, as he is, in his wheelbarrow, gesturing with his servo arm.
How far north has the refugee stream got? Are they sort of about here?
It's more of a dribble than a stream, and it's been a few hours, so probably shorter than either of those. They were close enough to the city that in like half an hour they're going to have issues with the orbital bombardment, blinding, and even heat burning some of them.
If we did a low fly, would we be able to get away with not getting sea? Like, when I say a low fly, I mean like 20 meters off the fucking floor. Like, super low, super fast. Just go as fast as we can, super low.
Probably not. You don't have that many aircraft in the sky, unfortunately. Like, the only ones you do have are the ones guarding Zaragoza. It's not inconceivable that you could still stealth this. I'm not trying to signal you away from it. It's just, it's sadly, at this point, not as easy as flying your way down there. Especially because your standard rest and refuel point would be the Obsidian Heart. And you might be able to sneak out using space tricks otherwise, but currently the Obsidian Heart's positioned in low orbit, so you can't even go back, rest.
I'm still in Zaragoza. I'm still in Zaragoza, right?
You are, yes.
Some refugees were escaping by boat, right?
Yes, the Zaragoza has a fairly substantial naval portion. A good deal of those have escaped, the actual military vessels at this point.
Don't need military vessels, we need to be just...
Yeah, there's a slow but steady civilian drip out of the city.
Quick question. Obviously, marine suits are environmentally sealed and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Does that include underwater as well?
Yes.
Generally.
To a point.
Yeah, like they're equipped for void travel, which means they're rated for 0 atmospheres. Underwater, you can...
How deep they can get.
Sorry?
How deep can they go?
Well, that's the thing. So, do you remember the Futurama line about when they took the ship underwater?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so you're rated for 0 atmospheres. If you expose it to 100 atmospheres of pressure, it will buckle. Your armor is fairly good, and it can take quite a bit, but if you go deep off the shelf, it's going to crumple like tinfoil.
Okay. So are we talking you stay to like really bright bits that are literally just like a few millimeters off the shore?
I'm not suggesting I get out of the boat. I'm suggesting I stay in the boat.
I know. I'm suggesting you get in the water and you just walk there.
Long walk.
What?
Yeah. Go deploy it off here and then just walk around the road and then walk all the way around and just walk in. I'll never see you.
Deploying my fucking thing. What?
What? Why? Why? They wouldn't say it coming.
Because it would take me 20 days. Have you tried walking... Young Nicholas, have you tried walking in water?
You're a space marine, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm a space marine in really heavy-ass armour.
Yeah, well, you don't make it much easier to walk.
To be strictly fair, he makes a very valid point. He makes a valid point that, well, yeah, you've got black carapace. It actually kind of does. I hate to say it, he's not wrong there.
No.
He is still wrong on the walk a quarter of a continent rather than boat almost all of it and walk the last bit. That is dumb.
No.
You're a space marine, it's fine.
The armour is going to slow me down. The armour is full of fucking nooks and crannies that had extra resistance.
Yeah, it also has
if you're
servo
leaving your
muscles.
armour.
And
I know it has servo muscles, but equally it is big and it is heavy and it has full of
I'm not
resistance.
disagreeing with you, but the servo muscles 100% outweigh the water resistance in this instance. It's not magic water. It's not that heavy. Like it.
You can walk it.
Yeah, you're not dealing with a 19th century diving suit. You're dealing with a 31st millennium suit of powered armor. You're still correct, just not.
I'm just going to take a boat.
I think the boat is fine. And so Coayah, as he's receiving a stream of mild orders and suggestions from command, just quietly clicks off his long-range Vox.
Are you leaving your armour behind and doing the stealth thing? Because if you are, I'm nicking a helmet out of the pile.
You have a helmet, don't you?
No.
Do I have a helmet? I thought it was pretty fucked up.
His armor's pretty fucked up at this point. He basically, anything that isn't an augmetic is screwed.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll be leaving my armor. I probably will be leaving my armor behind for this mission, given my probably not going to be that easy to infiltrate looking like a civilian if I'm wearing giant power armor.
Are you taking other marines with you?
Yes, 10 of them.
I'll take one of the chaff armor. It's like the gauntlets and legs are attached to the armor. I'll have them as well, just dangling in my wheelbarrow.
Hold on. Are you infiltrating as 10 Astartes in a group with no armor?
No, they're infiltrating as 11 Astartes in a group with no armor, if you include Coayah.
They're gonna know instantly!
As opposed to if I left the armor on.
Well,
it's just as bad.
Unfortunately, he clicked his radio off and then took his armor off, so there's no real way of dissuading him.
Even without armor, you're like, 7.5 foot tall, hulking men.
I could just
all in a boat.
Tall.
No, it's not just... No. You can get with, one amongst a massive refugees. 11 of you is not going to get in. You're going to get sunk instantly.
Well, I don't know, because the plan went The plan went completely awry, so I'm going with what we've got to try and salvage.
If you have more of a chance just walking underwater or boating half the way.
I'm just going to
close and then jump out.
Yeah, the Vox is at this point. I don't think you even informed him. Actually, I think you've just.
This is Nick telling Benji. This isn't. This is our character.
Unfortunately, Nazeem has. I appreciate that. Unfortunately, Nazeem has 100% lost contact with Coayah and indeed Coatlmox on the surface. I think you technically still have contact with Kuzco, who can probably confirm that, yeah, they're fine. Don't know why they're not answered. Well, let's check. Kuzco, what level of excuse are you giving for the other two?
This is a detail on high for information, like the amount of accurate information, and one is just pump off effectively. Okay, yeah, no, I am not being anywhere near what could be called helpful.
Okay, yeah, so, they're down there. Just keep voxing. You're probably having difficulties. Maybe swamp gas might be getting in the way of the vox receiver, that type of thing.
Have you turned it off and on again?
Yeah, have you tried soothing the machine spirits? Light more incense. This is an issue you're having up there, unfortunately, Nazeem, is your forces on the ground. Maccy's being very helpful, having been ordered to hold his current place, which is, sorry, Ollie, why we've not been back to you.
Have I heard anything from the admech yet? I sent my friend.
What are you hoping to hear from them?
I believe I asked to hear back from them, or else I come down there myself, get an answer, and it won't end well.
You did go down there yourself, and they told you, we're dealing with a thing, and we're not involved.
After that. Oh, yeah, they did, didn't they? Yes.
Yeah, and they said, we had a security incident, and we're not coming out.
Oh, God, yeah, that's I'll have to... That was it. I wasn't sure if I was going to dob fucking Coatlmox in it or not.
I don't think you know, strictly speaking, that it was definitely Coatlmox.
I did ask, and it was like no, I didn't do that.
Coatlmox is certainly suspicious, but you have literally zero proof, so it probably won't.
There's no proof, but it's like, probably is him.
I, to an extent, am going to call meta on that. Coatlmox's reaction was slightly incriminating, but only slightly. Like,
he's also not given any other information about any of that. He's not given. They've not given up any information as to how people broke in, so you don't know that it was only the later stuff that was bypassed by an actual infiltration attempt.
Yeah, I appreciate where you're coming from, but on this, I don't think you have any real evidence. The thing that you have hard evidence for is Coayah giving over best quality stuff without consulting the Mechanicum. And you've not done anything on that, so the Mechanicum's not happy with you on that one. You made mental notes to do it, but they never actually did it. And now Coayah's not answering his vox, as he strips off, and his armor is apparently, quote-unquote, looked after by Coatlmox, who begins strapping it to himself the second that Coayah has left the scene, gone down to the docks, and stolen a boat.
It's a race. It's like a Top Gear race. Car in the tunnel, boat on the sea.
I've never really been a fan of Top Gear, I'm afraid.
Special episodes are alright, but I'd prefer to see a car on the sea in a boat tunnel.
It would be entertaining. Should we...
That Toyota pickup was the best.
I'm not getting into a Top Gear discussion. Kuzco, shall we see whilst the other two are getting ready to go on their big long voyage? Kuzco, what's your drive south going? You've got the majority of the military forces under your command.
What was the question?
What are you doing in your drive south?
Oh, what are we doing? Remaining ever vigilant.
Okay, we'll say that you've been going for a couple of hours, like way down the motorway, with the combination of commandeered vehicles, almost entirely commandeered vehicles and the vehicles that you've taken with you, brought from orbit. You've actually got a fair old pace going on for you. You're about where you are on the map, maybe like a quarter of the way to the Great Fork, the colossal sci-fi roundabout between Zelona, Talisho, and Zaragoth. By the time you come up against more Morothan military forces, a garrison, in fact, not just the garrison, the defenders, the elite defenders of the port at Zelona, as well as a good number of the garrison from Talisho, an organized resistance forming an earthworks barricade being rapidly thrown up across the road in front of you. A ditch and a trench and a line of gunmen and vehicles. What do Kuzco?
I presume we've got some of the tank with us, right?
You do have tanks with you, yes.
Okay, cool. I want to send the tanks first, followed by Marines, and then the regular people after that. Preferably in a flanking maneuver from the people rather than just falling directly behind.
What's your strategy with the tanks and the Marines, just to clarify? So you're sending them through, but what does that mean? What is your hope there?
Okay, so the tanks are effectively I'm going to say drawing most of their fire and punch through the main lines to cause some kind of disruption with it, and the Marines come along, and as you said, there's trenches, so then they're going to go down and just start clearing out trenches, and hopefully they're going to be like, oh shit, we've got all this coming at us, which will then distract them for the flanking maneuver from the regular dudes who come out and start picking them up from the sides.
Okay, that's actually really well reasoned. I was going to give you command at a fairly heavy malice for encountering prepared defences, but I will take a command at a +0, please.
Question is, how many Malcadoran furnaces did you bring?
It's the 22nd Expeditionary Fleet. I would say it's almost entirely Malcadoran furnaces.
They fucking succeeded, one lads!
What's your DOS there, Carl?
1.
Carl brought a lot of Malcadoran furnaces.
With 1 DOS, Kuzco Kuzco saw his service in the Unification Wars. Kuzco is a worryingly, when he puts his mind to it, adept commander. And in this instance, he puts his mind to it. He's been given an order, and I guess he's not doing anything else, so he's gonna follow it. The tanks punch through the earthworks defences, scattering large numbers of troops based purely along the conveyor way. Following after them in their wake, indeed in some instances unloading from the rear of them as they force their way through, come the Marines spilling out into the trenchworks, and in a combat that is almost reminiscent of the Venusian campaign, you engage in hand-to-hand, trench-to-trench fighting, with Kuzco leading the way every single step of the charge. The defenders are trying to bring their numbers to bear, trying to hold off the small pickets of infantry advancing towards them, when the rest of the Solian Salutaires brought down by Coayah begin to ram into either one of their flanks, having dismounted before the armoured spear tip drove forwards, and then, going round, come down on either flank simultaneously, or more or less simultaneously. It's not a low casualty manoeuvre by any stretch of the imagination, but what it is indelibly, incredibly effective. As the elite Zalonan troops, and they're actually fairly formidable, rapidly improvised earthworks and trenchworks, are thrown asunder, key points along the line utterly routed. They offer up fierce resistance. Can I get a D20, please, Carl?
You roll low.
Here we go. Oh, no, it would help if I put an R in that.
Go on, roll high.
60.
As another 16% of your Solian Salutaires, I think bringing you close to 50% casualties on your elite urban warfare specialists, are annihilated in the heavy and immediate trench fighting. Your Marines, with pressure relieved on them, do significantly better. No major casualties to note there. But nevertheless, though you smash your way through the earthworks in the Battle of Northern Telefulis, casualties are still had. Oh, 32%. I even marked it helpfully. That's actually really good. So 32 plus 16 is 48. Yeah, so you're just shy of 50% casualties.
It could have been a lot worse.
It really could have. I'm going to neg you a little bit here, Carl, and I do apologise for that in advance. I was not expecting a coherent and sensible strategy.
I've really put effort into that.
But that was simple and yet effective, whilst making use of the limited variety of forces you had at your disposal. As Army Group Delta carries on into the Telefulis Desig interior, you've basically got free run of the place. Zalona's probably got more military troops, more troops available, but you've smashed the large advance force they sent against you. And Talisho likely has a garrison left, but they already sent what they could, or presumably did. What are we doing down here, Army Group Delta?
I would like to vox back to command of Nazeem back on the ship and ask for a target.
Nazeem, you actually did not order Army Group Delta down here. Last you heard, Army Group Delta was supposed to be driving north. Instead, they seem to have driven south. What do?
Oh, wait, the map. Shit, it was upside down. My bad.
Well, you've actually been given counter orders by Coayah. Coayah just didn't check those through Nazeem.
Wait, Delta's gone with Kuzco, and they're going towards Zalona, right?
Well, Telefulis. They've sort of punched through initial defences, and the question is, do they go to Talisho or Zalona, or I guess the surrounding farmland?
Zalona, that's where I wanted them to go.
Zalona it is. Compliance, brother captain.
Well done.
That's convenient. You didn't even have to order them. You didn't even order them, says a tiny voice at the back of your head there, Nazeem. And so Army Group Delta carries on in that direction. Let's check in speedily with Maccy. Maccy, what are we up to? You've been ordered to hold position over the other orbital defense laser. Maccy?
I will message up to the Obsidian Hearts and ask if there is anything else they would like me to do. Otherwise, I recommend sending down an AdMech detachment, and then we can go off and help in the front, back, or sidelines, as and where we are needed.
Yep. Hold your spot until AdMech get down there. I'm trying to rally them now.
Tell them you have a big laser. They're like that.
Give me a charm at -40, please, Nazeem.
For
the Mechanicum. Yeah, see if you can convince them that you're being genuine and not trying to fuck around with them. Last time you took them off ship, someone fucked around with their shit. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, okay. No. I'll fate.
Doff?
5. More than 5. This ain't bad.
More than 5. Yeah, the Mechanicum are not moving. They're busy conducting their own investigation. They have ideas, and they screech them at you in binaric cant, meaning that you don't know what those ideas are.
I like to go down in person and demand that AdMech. I'd like to go full. I'm in full gear, sword, everything. I'm taking another Marine or 2 with me. There are a few on the ship, I think.
The only Marines you have on the ship at this point are the 2 guarding the bridge and the remedial squad.
Guarding the bridge.
Sorry, not guarding the bridge, guarding the brig. My bad.
In which case, how has I've got his name somewhere.
Michiko
been behaving
in the 8 hours?
Has he been
7
yelling?
hours since you?
Yeah. Has he been behaving? Is he? I'll ask the guards at the door. I'll check security feeds real quick and just kind of skim through it.
He's entered into calm meditation, but you are a Space Marine and are very well aware that an unsupervised Space Marine can, in fairly short order, it'll take them a couple of hours at most, chew their way out of most situations.
Yep. Let's bring him with us. I'll take the 2 guards and him with us, and go down to the AdMech, and demand that an AdMech, I don't care who, goes down, and secures the Architect laser that they have down there.
You are unable to gain access to the Forge Shrine. At best, you can yell from the outside. I guess I'll take an Intimidate, but I'm going to give you another -40.
Okay. Got my +20 from armor and so forth, or not?
I don't think you're intimidating the AdMech with armor. If anyone is going to have haywire grenades on the ship.
Yeah, I needed a 1. No.
Yeah, the AdMech, via their external Forge Shrine loudhailers, remind you that they are an independent polity, allied to the Imperium of Demand, but not in any way subjugated to your authority.
I inform them then that it'll be okay if I blow up the facility.
You're going to threaten the Mechanicum?
Yeah, straight up. I'm like, if you don't want it, fine, I'll blow it up.
Oh wait, the defense laser. Sorry, I thought you meant you were going to blow.
Yeah, no, not them.
Yeah, no,
the
okay,
laser.
Okay, that's entirely
fine.
You get back to that a line that's yeah. You can't physically see them doing air quotes, but you can hear it in their tone of voice. Oh, sorry, I need to do dumber. Sorry.
Yeah, you blow up the facility, Inwa. Fucking status.
Wait. What did he say again?
You blow up the facility, Inwa.
Inwa?
They Orky boys.
They're, it's a thing Dunmer say, Nicholas. You played 22 sessions of Cardboard.
Yes, I never heard that though. Inwa is just...
It's just it's a you fuck.
It means Outlander, doesn't it?
It's a racial term.
Yeah, by Outlander, I mean people who were not us.
Yeah, there's a racial term for Outlander. It means you are foreign and you suck.
Okay. Open comms, so like they can hear me over the Vox and so forth. Lieutenant,
Lieutenant.
Maccy, proceed away from the facility. Orbital bombardment proceed on the second location. I just go bang, bang on the door. I was like, enjoy your stay, and leave.
Fucking Nazeem's had it up to here with your bullshit. Okay, Maccy. You hear the sound of an orbital bombardment being radio voxed in on your location. Some minutes later, you hear with great relief the sound of a stormbird approaching through a thick hail of air-to-air fire and moving to evacuate you. Maccy, you may consider yourself to have redeployed to the Obsidian Heart. Nazeem, give me another orbital bombardment roll. I believe that's operate surface over ballistic skill. You may count yourself as...
do it.
Yeah, sure, why not? He's a heavy weapon specialist. Technically, this is heavy weapons. Ollie, you here?
Or is it just frozen? I can't tell.
Oliver!
What the fuck was that?
Oliver! There you go, he's awake now. Ollie, we need you to do a roll.
Oh, sorry. It's been a very long day for me.
That's okay.
No doubt feel, man. No doubt feel.
You get to do the orbital bombardment.
Oh, cool.
You've been air-vaxxed, and you're back on the Obsidian Heart, and you get to fire the big guns.
Hey, you ain't all my luck.
It's operate void. You're rolling on behalf of the crew, so you may count yourself as trained. You may roll over your own ballistic skill, but you cannot use fate.
Roll over my own ballistic skill, sure. So that is 4 degrees of success then. 17.
Jesus, did you just roll that?
Yep.
What the fuck?
Who was it that said Ollie stole all of my luck?
Me, and he did. 4 degrees of success. Tired and pissed, and knowing the exact coordinates of the facility, Maccy takes 10 minutes to get himself up to the bridge, 5 minutes to coordinate the shot, a further 2 minutes to correct the errors in coordinating the shot, and then all of about 10 seconds to annihilate the installation from low orbit.
Before I press the button,
you don't press a button, you give orders to people who press the
okay, well, as I give the order, I mutter under my breath, this is how you do it.
What was the DOF there, Ollie? Just to confirm, was that 4 DOS? Sorry, not DOF, DOS. 4 DOS.
4 DOS.
Okay, not including a standard attack or anything.
Oh, sorry, including a basic attack.
No, not including a standard attack, is what I'm saying.
Not including.
Not including a standard attack, 4 DOS. Yeah, you don't so much as... I'm going to delete that because I made too much of a squiggle. You do not so much as touch the mountains around it. With 4 DOS, you literally snipe the facility and nothing else. That 200 meters squared location is utterly fucked. And since you used lances, you pretty much sniped it. There's a good deal of scorching and flash evaporated snow in the area around, but by and large, you caused minimal environmental damage, other than one extremely evaporated bird.
What's the term for it? Sublimated? No.
Sublimated is when you go from a solid to a gas.
Yeah, so I did sublimate.
If that bird got
you hit it with a
lance,
lance. Yeah, you sublimated it. Yeah.
Why did we destroy the second one and not keep it?
Piss the Admech off.
Because Nazeem has had it up to here with the Admex bullshit and decided, well, if you're not going to behave, I'm not going to get you nice things.
Now let's proceed to the Defiance Aeroplex to take that out.
Got a void shield, isn't it?
Nope. Defiance Aeroplex, it does not.
Oh, I thought it did, thanks to, the fact it had a purple line around it.
Purple circle is void.
Yep.
I'm not sure what the squares are.
The squares are vital targets that do not have void shielding, if I recall correctly. I didn't actually do those, that was Cread on the first session, but it is very accurate.
Oh,
Oh, what is it?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought that was you, and I thought to myself, okay, it's just a weird-looking void shield. Clearly, pink means void shield.
I was going with shape. Circle is void shield, square is like a high-value target.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I based most of my invasion plan around the idea of, well, these are all void shielded targets. Let's go for something that isn't void shielded.
I mean, even taking that into account, I feel like your invasion plans make sense. Or made sense. They don't make sense now, but they did at the time. Cool, so let's... Coayah has found a boat, and just before we go back and do your next orbital bombardment bullshit there, Nicholas. Coayah found a boat. Coatlmox found an auto carriage. I guess operate surface, both of you. Let's see who goes faster and further.
Can I use command to find which of my attached unit has the best chance of driving the boat instead?
I'm going to say all of you are equally relatively inexperienced with this.
Okay. Well,
valid ask, but as it's like...
Here's hoping there.
It's a recreational sailboat. You've stolen someone's pleasure yacht.
Oh, I should have kept that.
Do we have operate surface?
There's drive at the top.
Oh, sorry, drive would be the thing then in that case. Unless we have sail. I don't think we have sail.
Did we have drive? Where?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, drive ground.
Drive ground vehicles. Oh, I have a plus. That's a pass then. My God.
Oh wait, actually, I forgot about that.
I could sail a boat.
Oh, is trains
sort of.
10?
Yeah.
In this context, yes. No, trained because it's untrained train for that. Those
that's
ones.
just what.
So trained is a +0.
Oh, for God's sake, that's a. Okay, I will fight that then. That's a pass. Of 1 degree.
Oh, you're winning the race.
That's really stupid.
Okay, so Coayah on his boat, by the end of the day... We'll do by the end of the day then, I guess. So by the end of the day, Army Group Delta, with Kuzco in tow, has almost made it to the grand central roundabout of Telefulis Desig. Coatlmox and his reduced crew in their auto carriage have made it some ways up the now presumably somewhat deactivated maglev rails north towards the Morotha metroplexic, but not that far because the rails are really not made for an auto carriage and it is slow going. Coayah, on the other hand, has made it quite a ways with his commandeered yacht. Thankfully, it has not sunk due to unloading 11 extra tons because he and his troops left their armour with Coatlmox, who's presumably got them packed into the trunk of a fairly meaty auto carriage. Which I guess leaves time for at least one more orbital strike from Nazeem in low orbit, carving great scars through the landscape. Nazeem, what are we doing?
Ordering Maccy to bombard it again. He's a good boy. Can I, this is risky. 10 minutes, because obviously it takes time to maneuver over and whatnot. What's command? Command... Fellowship. Can I foresight my command? So, I'm planning out the routes.
You can't. I mean, as we said last time, you can't transfer foresight to other characters.
No. So, I want to command Maccy to take fire.
Yeah,
I want to have foresight on that command roll as I plan out exactly what I tell him to do.
So if it was a more complex strategy, I would say that's valid. You can use command to give other people a bonus. Since you're not really giving him a complex strategy, you're telling him shoot this thing, he's doing all of the complexity. I think it is potentially what you're asking for would be valid if you were in, say, Carl's shoes. Like, this is a thing that you could conceivably help Kuzco with. You can't easily help Maccy with it, though.
So I can't say I identified this or wind strength or anything like that.
Yeah, not because you're just telling him to do, because all of the work in orbital bombardment isn't target identification because you struggle to hit even a very large target anyway. The work in orbital bombardment is like actually getting the shot to line up and hit what you want it to do. The work is all in the maths, it's not in the strategy.
Okay,
It's a very valid ask, and I would say in many other situations it would be actually super applicable, just not for orbital bombardment.
Yep, cool. Okay, I'll get back to it then.
Okay, Maccy, I believe you're blowing up the Defiance Aeroplex.
Could I use Evaluate? There's something.
It would be a good time to mention I don't have any fate left.
Way.
What's your doff there, Maccy?
3 degrees of failure.
Fuck, he's hit the water. Oh god, he's gonna hit the water.
Well, let's see. Give me a D10. See what your scatter is.
Beep.
2. He's not hit the water.
Oh my god.
Unless he gets really bad on the next roll. No, even if he gets really bad. Well, we made Jan Nicholas roll a D10, so I'll make you roll a D10 as well, please.
Yeah.
For distance. 5. Okay, so that'll be 2 squares. To the north of the Defiance Aeroplex. And then you cut your way south, annihilating a good degree of the foothills of the easternmost reaches of the Gralloch Range, through into the conveyorway that connects Port Voront and Zelona, down into the deserts of Voront Desig and northern Rastic Desig, and thence towards the Defiance Aeroplex. Now, you take long enough, and they've got enough craft in the air that they have a fair amount of time to get as many craft and personnel as they can out of there. Personnel on the ground are going to struggle to flee. They're basically fucked. Anyone who can't get in a plane or aircraft of some kind. But the aircraft themselves will mostly have the facility to be able to flee, at least towards Marotha. However, this does cut down on their air superiority in the Eastern Crescent, meaning that Port Voront is facing a significantly harder battle in keeping the Hoiran Principality at bay, so you may soon have allied troops landing in the east. The Defiance Aeroplex is melted off the face of the planet. Its long, sandy airstrips annihilated in a haze of macro cannon shells and pounding, burning lance battery fire. And I think that is probably a good place to leave it for the week. Does anyone have any reminders for next session?
By command.
That's fair. We'll probably do that at the end of this session, but fair.
Make sure Ollie doesn't chance his luck shooting at Zelona.
So I have one more take point for next week.
Anything else?
I'm on a boat.
Fucker.
Don't you dare.
I'm on a boat, motherfucker, don't you ever forget.
Anything else?
Creed's in the tunnels again.
Fair. Anything else?
Nazeem's done playing nice guy.
Also entirely fair. Anything else?
He is now on a warpath.
I suppose orbital defenses have been deactivated, allowing us to attack the crescent at will.
Space Marines can walk underwater.
Fucking end you.
No one was contesting that. The issue isn't can they.
No, it's a reminder for me.
Okay.
That's the only reason. Because it's going to happen. Whether it's me or someone else, it's going to happen.
Probably not. The only person at sea is Coayah, and Coayah and his squad have taken their armour off and left it with Coatlmox. Oh, well, sorry. Yeah. Actually, to be fair, they've left it with the garrison in... what was it called? Not Zagreb.
Zaragoth. We left it in the garrison in Zaragoth, and I believe it was just sort of appropriated / yoinked by...
Yeah, Coatlmox just took what spare bits he could.
I'm not going to lie, I don't have a lot of hope for Coayah's squad, the way it's going. I really don't know why you're trying to take it single-handedly right now. No one else is going over there.
So,
because someone's got to be a professional, damn it.
It's
Because, to be fair to him, Coayah's committed to trying to save both infrastructure and lives. Coayah doesn't want any more destruction than there has to be. Contrast this against Kuzco, who doesn't care, he's just trying to be professional. Coatlmox, who actively wants destruction because it's fun. And Maccy, who's following the latest set of orders given to him by basically anyone. And yourself, Nazeem, who has begun indiscriminately orbitally bombarding targets. You're, if nothing else, probably really fucking the ecosphere pretty heavily. Even with the precise hits, it's not great. Any other reminders? Nope. Cool. Questions? Anything anyone was narratively unsure of in that session? Is everyone following the plot?
I mean, I missed the first sort of hour. Did anything important happen?
A lot of discussion, I would say.
Sure.
Also, like, technical difficulties where my PC decided to take 30 minutes to start up.
Huh. That's okay.
Yeah, it's not ideal. But it is also quite hot outside, and that's probably melting it a tad. Any other questions? Any other narrative questions? Nope. Cool. Feedback. Anything you liked, anything you disliked, anything you would see more of or less of next time.
Or just sleeping.
It was fairly, like, half, I guess, is a good way of putting it.
Yeah, a lot of plot lines progressed, I guess. How do people feel about the old bombardment? I did make it a bit less precise, but looking at the Rogue Trader rules, at the scale we're operating at, even if you missed it with 100, you'd still hit within the square. So I tried to make it wider.
It felt a bit extreme. Even with a 10 on the distance, that felt a bit extreme.
It's kind of
maybe
how
like
it would
square
be.
out?
That's kind of how it would be. Is the thing is, it sounds like you're doing it at short range, but it's relative. You've got to think about it. It's relative range. High orbit is still several hundred miles.
You're low
and you're
orbit,
shooting with.
Well, we're flying from a low orbit. That's the thing. We're not high orbit. We're low orbit.
Yeah, but we can't go too far into the planet's atmosphere, or you will start.
In one, maybe two squares. I feel like it's
also, I will say this:
extreme.
these are not precision weapons.
I don't know.
These are weapons designed to hit targets 20 to 30 kilometers
extreme.
long in a broadside. These are not weapons designed to pick targets out at.
I was asked my opinion. I gave it. I felt it felt a bit extreme.
I think both of those opinions are extremely valid. Does anyone else have any input? No, that's fair. Well, I mean, I'll take it into account for next time. We'll probably stick with these bombardment standards for this campaign, but you know, we'll see. If we do another planetary one at some point, then we'll see. We'll see what the appropriate level is. Cool. Any other feedback? Nope. Fair dues. Okay, in that case, let's do some exploit. Cool. Plot progression. Does anyone feel like he made any significant plot progression this session? Also, double digits. And if so, what?
Digits?
This is session number 10.
Oh damn. Didn't realise.
I guess progression on removing defences. We took out both orbital facilities, and we also taken out a air facility.
We have 2 loose plans for infiltrating the metroplexic.
On the way to capturing Zelona.
We put a base put plans into motion for siege coming up, so we're cutting off the food supply.
I think that's all fair. Character development. Does anyone feel like you developed your characters this session? And if so, how?
Nazeem finding that the stick works better than the carrot.
Aww. Bit of innocence lost in that one.
A little bit.
I mean, like, it depends on who you're working with, but definitely with, like...
It comes down to active warfare.
You know, the worst bit is you had an easy bypass to the admech that one of you cottoned onto at one point, and everyone else kind of rode over them a little bit. might be obvious listening back to it. I won't go into too much detail. I'll bring it up after this campaign, this mini campaign, if people are interested. But I spotted a moment where it was like, oh, he was so close. Any other character development?
My own character's name, I forgot it. Kuzco. Kuzco displays some command acumen and tactical ability.
Yeah, that kind of came out of nowhere. I was fully expecting you to just ride the entire army group directly into the earthworks. But a basic counter strategy executed with efficiency and minimal pre-planning took me a little bit by surprise.
I'm not known for it.
No. Any other character development? Nope, fair. Excellence of roleplay. Does anyone feel like anyone else roleplayed particularly well this session?
Coatlmox, as always, fucking beast of a man. Just everything he did. The wheelbarrow, the find me other, just everything.
Fair. Anything else?
I mean, we didn't really have much roleplay, to be fair, but I did like Nick's treating the AdMech like spoiled kids that won't come down for dinner.
You don't want it, you don't have to have it. If you don't come out, you're not going to have it.
Fair. Anything else? Nope. Cool. Okay. And I make that out to be 145 experience points for session number 10. That's 30 points of plot progress, taking out the orbital lasers, in fact. Taking out the Eastern Aeroplex, and currently trying to infiltrate the Metroplex whilst working on capturing Zalona. 20 points, character development. Nazeem finding the stick works better than the carrot, and Kuzco displaying command acumen. 20 points, excellence of roleplay. That's Coatlmox's insistence on being on the front lines, and Nazeem treats the Mechanicum like spoiled kids, plus 75 standard.
So, how much is that again?
145. Cool, which brings us on to everyone's favourite part of the session. It's the highlights. Benji, do you have any highlights for that session?
Brother Lieutenant, I have found a wheelbarrow.
That's extremely fair. Anything else? Sorry, I'm echoing with someone. Oh, I think it's Ollie.
I'm going to have to shoot off, actually. Sorry, guys.
Oh, that's fair.
It's fine.
Hello there. See you guys.
Wait. Any other highlights there, Benji?
Sorry, Joy. Oh.
Yeah, it's been a day. Yeah. It's fucking heat, man.
Yeah, it's too hot.
I've been up since 6 because workmen have been digging up the road for the past few days. The fuck cunt. Sorry.
Screw them. Screw them all. Forever. Forever and ever and ever. The plan is to walk. No, the plan is not to walk.
I can't. Oh, okay. Separate highlights, I guess. The plan is to walk. Whack. That's not a word. Anything else?
The gang does their own thing.
Was a lot of own thing. I mean, Ollie was following orders, to be fair. Ollie and Carl, actually, were both following orders. Anything else?
That's it for me.
Cool. Creed, do you have any highlights for that session?
Ooh. Got Maccy the Luck Thief.
Yeah, that was gonna be...
I like, what the shit, right? Did he get one roll that stuck under over 20 this session?
Yes, his final roll, where he rolled 86 and missed.
Alright, that's fair. So he got one. Fucking one.
Yeah, but to be fair, he got 86 on a roll where if he missed too badly, he was going to hit the fucking ocean.
That is true. He did luck. Yeah, but then he lucked into his shot didn't scatter south, it scattered north. Any other highlights, Cread?
Basically, fuck those mountains.
who's in command or surprise developments for all the orders going wild and everyone continually turning off long-range comms?
I do really like that the solution to problems in the command chain is people who dislike their orders turning their long-range comms off.
I'm sure it's not a bad precedent to set for the future.
It's fine. It's not like everyone else has the same gene seed as you. Any of the highlights?
Race to the metroplex.
Any other highlights?
That's it.
Cool.
I'd like to put one more highlight in then. I'm winning the race.
Yeah, I was avoiding putting that.
Entirely fair.
Yeah, part of why I put the GIF in chat.
I really need to sort a robot, like a Discord bot, that just you ask it for a highlight and it gives you a random highlight from one of the games.
Oh, that'd be good.
Right? Cool. Carl, do you have any highlights for that session?
Yep. Invasion snafu.
Fair. Any other highlights?
Finally getting to orbitally bombard something.
Yeah, that was a lot of things. Fucking Rogue Trader was always threatening to orbitally bombard, and I don't think they ever actually got round to doing it. You orbitally bombarded 3 targets in one session.
The big problem with us threatening to orbitally bombard stuff in Rogue Trader was that especially when we had the Noctis Ruptor, we'd out-equipped it with a broad load of plasma macro cannons, which, unless you're planning to kill a planet, are not really the thing you want to be orbitally bombarding with.
Plasma is especially bad for a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where it's a threat, but you can't really do it unless you don't really care what happens to the planet.
A macro cannon isn't great, but it's better than plasma, like your standard plasma rounds, and a lance battery isn't great, but it beats both of them. At least in terms of precision in who you fuck up. It's only a few kilometers for most lance batteries, the last I checked, compared to macro cannons fucking over everything around them, and plasma fucks over everything, but also the effects are, like, 1, they're a little bit wider, and 2, they have more subsidiary fuck over effects, usually.
I mean, they're freaking plasma. If you fire too much, you'll set the atmosphere on fire.
I don't think you generally set the atmosphere on fire in 40k. You arguably should, but I don't think...
If you've saturated a planet with plasma bombardment from...
Yeah, but
big guns.
One light cruiser does not have the armament to do that.
No, obviously not.
I suppose it wasn't a light cruiser in Rogue Trader, but your light cruiser definitely can't do that, and the Rogue Trader cruiser would still be pretty hard pressed. You need a naval detachment for that. Cool. Any other highlights, Carl?
Nazeem puts his foot down.
Entirely fair. I'm looking forward to the post session where the admech realised you were serious. Any other highlights? Sorry, Dun.
That was
not even Dunmech. It's the Dun Mechanicum.
Mechanicum. Yeah. Purely because I am still quite chuffed over it. But most successful battle so far.
I'm glad you said it, because I was thinking it.
Got a tactical victory and surrounded the entire Zaragothan troop line.
Yeah, but that was more because Coatlmox deployed out of position and you capitalized.
Still a successful battle.
It is, but you need help. You needed help. Whereas Carl's was like, he implemented a strategy, and the strategy had no obvious vulnerabilities and worked well with the combined armed force he had, whilst not massively slowing him down on his route to get somewhere. I wouldn't downplay your invasion of landing under fire and the troop composition. I think you had a much more complex task ahead of you, but Carl's went better. Anywho, any other highlights, Carl?
No, I think that was it.
Cool.
I think that was also my only successful roll this entire game. Oh wait, no, I healed what's his name?
Coatlmox.
Yeah.
God damn.
Failed every other roll.
But if you're going to succeed at any 2 rolls...
yeah.
Ollie, any highlights for that session? You're still muted.
Fuck this mountain range in particular.
You did bomb it like 3 times.
We call it the Gralloch Flat now.
Oh dear.
What else? I mean, that's kind of a little late. I suppose breach and clear, but with macro rounds.
Wait, but what's the breach in that context?
Oh, so I did breach and clear 2 of the locations we ended up, completely annihilating.
But that means you breached and cleared, and then later fired macro rounds. You didn't breach and clear with macro rounds.
The area has been secure, but we need to be sure.
Breach and clear, and then macro round it.
The ultimate in triple taps. Breach, clear, orbitally bombard.
Does it really count as being cleared when it's just been wiped from the face of the world?
The area has been swept, identified, and then utterly annihilated by orbital lance fire.
You find it funny that I was tasked with clearing out these 2 valuable Archaeotech locations, and then we just bombed them.
You were, to be fair, tasked with clearing them out to make sure that they weren't active, which they were before you got there, so that you could come in for orbital bombardment.
That reminds me, actually, I don't know if you saw my message on Discord earlier about, can I get a fame point for causing all those people to run away at the beginning?
They were only conscripts, though.
It says it just depends on what level of skill. I can still have a fame point, just it'll be 1, I think.
I don't think I'd give you a fame point for, making 60 to 80 conscripts run away. It's a valid ask, but I don't think in this instance it's a fair give, if that makes sense.
The only person in this campaign who's earned a fate is fucking Cread for headbutting a train to death.
He said fame, not fate.
That's what I mean, yeah. I meant fame.
Oh, sorry.
He headbutted a train to death. I think that earns a point of fame.
That was technically a failure. And
is that how it's going to be portrayed by the Legion?
True. But I did also just deny Ollie a fame point for a thing that he demonstrably did. It feels mean to retroactively give Cread a fame point for a thing that he failed to do.
No, because think about it in this analogy. You've got a skateboarding competition where someone fails to do a medium to reasonable trick, and succeeds at a medium and reasonable trick, and it's all very impressive. And then you got one guy who tries to do the really super hard trick and completely cocks it up. Who are people going to be talking about?
I guess my point of view on it is, I think I mentioned this in the Discord a bit, but depending on how far we string this out, we could be at these characters for some years. I don't think you're going to be hurting for fame earned from valid sources over time.
No, I don't think so, but...
Any of that?
I can't think of anything else. Yeah, I can't think of it.
That's fair. I think you basically covered it for me. Also, in that case, thank you all for a lovely session number 10. Does anyone have any final words for the recording?
Orbitally bombastic.